Welcome back to the Unbiased Opinion, where everyone's opinion is biased, of course, except ours. I'm Colin.
I'm Craig.
That's right.
And I'm Daniel.
So today we're going to be talking about a sleeper hit of the year so far in 2023. It is called Sound of Freedom. It is based off a true story. It is a crime thriller film about a guy who embarks on a mission to rescue children from child sex traffickers in Colombia. So, a very fun thing to talk about today. I can't imagine what else we'd like to be talking about, but here we are. It's grossed $235 million against a $14.5 million budget, which is actually pretty good. And it grossed $184 million domestically, which, if I'm not mistaken, is more than Indiana Jones 5. Let me just look that up real quick. Yeah, it is. It's about almost 10 million more than Indiana Jones 5. So,
Yikes.
boys, what did you think of The Sound of Freedom?
Like I said, I liked it,
Mm-hmm.
but at the same time, it's not something I would ever want to rewatch too often.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree. It is a tough movie to watch, but overall it's a good movie.
Because again, most movies I'd like enough I want to rewatch. This is the one of those exceptions where maybe not. Maybe not like an annual Christmas rewatch.
Oh, definitely not. I don't want to sound like a contrarian, but I didn't love it. I thought it was okay. I think, setting aside the material the movie is about, it is a very, very generic, like, thriller movie, I guess you could say. That is, quote unquote, based off a true story. And I was thinking, Craig, to myself, you talk about how those biopic movies we watched before, how it'd be much better as a documentary, because that's just like straight truth and whatnot, telling the true story. I think this movie would have been better if it was a documentary. Because I
Yeah,
looked
it
up
probably
some
would
of the
be.
differences in real life, and he didn't kill anybody. I mean, maybe he's just saying that to save faith. I don't know. But
Well, I don't. I mean,
it
I had
felt
a
too,
feeling
like,
like
by the numbers in the movie, and I didn't like that. I guess I should clarify and say that if you compare this to, like, Taken, I guess you could say some dumb movie like that, it's better because this is better than Taken, because it's Taken is kind of schlocky, setting aside the subject matter, where it's like Liam Neeson running around killing people in, like, different countries. He's just breaking so many laws, so many international laws and whatnot. So this movie definitely treats it more serious and like it's real, but it still at times felt by the numbers.
well, I like you said like it treats it like it's real because I feel like that's what definitely made it different and stand out. Because there's something like Taken that's like it's not really about the girl being taken. It's about seeing Liam Neeson kill people and shoot people.
Yeah, John Wick before John Wick.
Like it became like this whole meme like I'll find you like that was a meme for like a long time. And this
Yeah.
like you really can't make a meme about it because like it's so taking itself so seriously. Like what are you gonna make a meme about?
Yeah. I mean, I guess we could say I guess we should say it should take itself seriously. It'd be terrible if this movie was like a big joke. Like, imagine it had the jokes of Thor: Love and Thunder going around with this subject matter. It'd be terrible.
Oh God.
Don't give me any ideas.
Yeah. Anyone want to expand on what you
Well, like you're
liked,
saying
what you
before,
didn't like? Yeah, yeah.
like I feel like for me, like when they went like to the jungle and somehow didn't get killed and were able to rescue the kid, that's where I felt like the most Hollywood part. Because I liked when they showed this thing and like they kind of interlaced it with like real life footage to show that this did happen and like good was done as opposed to just being like a feel good story. Because like if this is just like
Yeah.
a story that that like someone made up, like no, this actually happens, it actually helped people, which kind of helps the movie.
Yes, I think before it sounds like Danny about to say something. The
Yeah.
third act definitely felt very Hollywood, and like I said, the by the numbers, it just felt generic, tired. He somehow doesn't get killed, even though it looks super sketchy that there's two guys on a boat. and he like
Well, I mean,
infiltrates
it
it.
made sense in the
I know that they
story.
said they're part of the UN, delivering vaccines and whatnot. But then he like sneaks around at night. He kills the main leader, and then he gets the girl out of there. That's where it felt like is
Yeah.
all right. Like
I will say though, at least like when he got the girl out, it wasn't like guns a blazing, and like he really tried. Uh, uh, even when he killed a guy, they didn't like glorify it. Actually, I thought that scene where he kills the main guy, like they're showing it from the girl's point of view. Like I thought that was an interesting technique where it's like it's cutting in and out of showing them fighting and stuff. But I know what you mean. But at least like it wasn't like he went in like and was just shooting people and like running out with her. Like it really, I will at least say in that sense like it was realistic where he actually had to be stealthy about it and didn't just like beat up a bunch of like you know terrorists in the jungle.
yeah, imagine if it was Liam Neeson infiltrating it. He would have been shooting like gas cans and then explosions.
Is
Well,
my mic
he'd have
cutting
wiped
out
out the
again?
whole village.
Hey, Mike sounds fine. What'd you say, Craig? He'd blow up the whole village? Yeah, probably.
Oh yeah, he would have gone guns a blazing. He would have taken out like the leader. Then like on his way out, he would have killed everybody like defending some random point.
Yeah, it would have been like Rambo 2006 where he's on a Gatling gun murdering them in like a minefield.
There's a rainbow that came out in '06.
Yeah,
News to me.
I mean, I know the first one, but like, how
yeah.
many movies can you make?
I also
Anyway,
thought the movie was a
yeah,
little too long.
really.
Yeah, I thought it dragged
I
on a little bit. I thought the
think
beginning
maybe
was I thought the beginning was great, where he uh not befriends, but he like manipulates that convicted guy, the creep in the beginning, let's say, because YouTube can.
he's a pedophile. You can say it.
All right, yeah, but
Well, it's not
YouTube
that you can't say
censorships.
it. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
Let's call him Mr. Convicted Creep. Uh, I liked when he was like getting information out of him, because then that's where it felt real. It felt tactical, where it's like this is what they do to get information and leverage on these terrible people to gain information about like children being trafficked. I thought that was all really cool. Like I said, my main problem with the movie was just like the end, because I didn't really like it. I
Yeah,
mean, not him rescuing the child. I wasn't rooting against him or rooting against the
yeah.
child or anything.
you're rooting for him to get killed.
I don't know. I
But
thought it was just like it was.
I do also like in the beginning. You also see the toll that like a job like that would take on a person too. Like like it actually takes on like I mean it's a horrific scene, but the close up or when he has to watch the stuff and do a report on it, like
That's terrible.
yeah I know it is it's horrific, but the movie does a good job of like also too the movie does a lot of and usually this phrase is fine, but it's show don't tell, like in the sense of how you see how it affects him.
Well,
Like you
that'd be
don't
a
have
crime
to
they'd
do.
be committing.
Yeah, I know. But the whole thing of it's even with his character and like the toll it takes on him, there isn't a lot of like just straight exposition on it. Like it actually, like this movie, I just think is a very well made movie, and the ending um with it, I mean maybe they could have just maybe ended on the like on the sting operation might have been like a good point to end on with the movie
Yeah, I thought it was
because
very Hollywood, where she's playing on the bongos or whatever that was and singing.
I,
That's just
but
like extra stuff. That's stuff that.
well what I was gonna say is after I think that's fine for a climactic scene. Like I was thinking for the movie, um, they're talking and they the kids are rescued and whatever. Um, that would be like a good shot to end, and then it could transition into the actual like how they showed at the end of the movie, the actual footage from the sting operation, and then like him testifying before Congress. Like because I remember like watching it and I was like, wait, there's like a whole nother thing they got it. Now they have to go to another part of the, the jungle and the country and it would go to another country and it did I know what you mean. Like it was like, wait, there's a whole lot more to it. I think maybe if you were to trim down the movie, I think maybe you could, maybe put the sister in that sting operation so they rescue her and all the other kids. Um, and then maybe end the movie there. I think that would have been a good point to like trim down the movie. Or you could end it with the kids, going back to the dad too.
Mm.
To give it that human touch.
What say you, Craig?
About what?
I don't know.
I also thought too with this movie, it didn't before the third act. I thought the pacing on it was it didn't feel like it dragged.
No, I disagree. I felt like it dragged a little bit.
The
Really?
whole movie?
No, like the middle half ish, it dragged. Like up until they do the sting operation with the child modeling woman, the beauty queen, when she was there. Everything before that was like, ugh, dragging a little bit.
Oh, it's just to build up the stakes, you know? We see how these people get kidnapped and then,
Well, no,
Well, I
no. I
think
thought the beginning was fine. It was the middle of the movie. Like I said, where it showed the child, or that the father being tricked by the former beauty queen for the child modeling contracts. Absolutely terrible. Like that beginning is just like so brutal.
well, and then they also show the like actual like footage from like street cams and stuff.
Yeah, people just getting abducted. Like, that's terrible. See, like I think again, this would have been so much better as a documentary because we're just watching actors do it, but nothing beats and nothing resonates more than actually seeing it happen to real people. Like that's why I kind of not am resentful of this movie, but just feels like it's missing the power it could have had or the impact if it was a documentary. Because when it's just like a generic Hollywood movie with the themes of it, it's not the same as like as a matter of fact documentary.
Well, no, I get that, but it's also the story. It's Tim Ballard's story. It's from his perspective too. So if
Well,
he
you can do
wanted
a
to present
documentary
it,
through his point of
oh,
view.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, I mean, to get the story out there, no one watches documentaries. Like, unless it's something like really, schlocky. Like stuff like this, I
I
can't imagine.
sometimes do. There's
Okay,
some.
but you're not most people.
That's true.
Like when people watch documentaries, it's usually like trash. Like I see on Netflix, like there's a documentary about the Amber Heard versus Johnny Depp trial for some reason.
yeah.
There's a
Yeah,
really
that's
great
stuff people watch.
documentary by Peter Jackson where we'll get back to the movie in a second. But it's this documentary that takes notes and letters from people of World War I, and he like completely not redid. He fixed the cameras and the stuff they shot of World War I to make it look like real cameras today, and it's absolutely incredible. Like the technology they used.
It's called
It's like
They Should Not
yeah,
Grow
yeah,
Old.
yeah, something like that. Have you seen it?
I've heard about it.
It's really cool. Maybe not in the fact that lots of people died young, but anyway. Um, any other thoughts about the movie? Daniel seems to really like this one.
What this movie?
Yeah, not in a bad way.
I was gonna say, well, big thing. Should we talk about like the controversy that surrounded this movie?
Well, that's to me was like the big thing because like this probably would have a movie I wouldn't have seen if it wasn't for the controversy, quote unquote.
Yeah, talk about the controversy.
Well, it's funny to call it a controversy because people were like getting upset that a movie of the material was getting made. People were calling like a conspiracy theory. I'm like, I don't know, man. If you watch the movie, there's like actual like security footage of this stuff happening.
Yeah. Well, they try to politicize this movie, and like I don't think no matter what part of like a political spectrum you're on, or if you're not on any, it's hard to like go like. like when I'm watching this movie, there isn't like a political message to it. Like I don't think how someone could just immediately deem it like, oh, it's a political thing. Like the movie
Because of
was
who's
just,
in the movie.
oh yeah, but like the whole thing is like if you watch the movie, like yeah, there's some you know even too like they try to deem it like, oh, this is um like a Christian movie. Like there's a few Christian references, and like yeah, I guess you can say there you could say there's a Christian theme because of the actor and who the guy it's based on. But that's not the message of the story is about exposing child trafficking.
Also, too, like if they're gonna say like it's an overtly religious movie because people are fighting child trafficking, it's like, is that really
Yeah.
something you want to be like accused? I mean, okay, accuse me of that. Like I don't know, like the shots people were taking was just so odd.
Yeah.
And then you see the movie and it's like, oh, it's people are just getting upset over something they haven't even seen.
I was also looking at the accuracy of the movie, and the Ballard guy himself said that he did not go into the jungle by himself to rescue a little girl, nor did he kill a man to rescue a child. He said the island rescue operation, the thing they had involved both minors and adults, while the film only portrayed the victims as children. He said that the team not only rescued 54 minors, but 123 individuals at two locations, or at two additional locations.
Good for him.
I guess it's tough when you're adapting a true story like his to a movie. What's going to be the emotional appeal? You have to focus it on a family, I guess, because if you have too many victims, I guess you can say, it's
I,
hard to keep track of who's who, and it's hard to, I guess, as an audience point of view, empathize with characters you don't know. So
well,
that's
that's
why they
Yeah.
have
where
the family.
that's like where it fits more for the movie format. Like if it was a documentary, you don't need the specific family.
I'm wondering if it would have been better if he was just saving, if it was just about like his sting operations and saving all these people instead of him focusing on the boy Miguel and Rocio, I believe is the girl's name.
Mm.
But I feel like that's like just a Hollywood thing. Like they feel like you have to have, the family and the children to connect to. Because
Yeah, I
again,
feel like that works against it. If he like if it was a movie based off of him saving not only children but also adults too that are in this, I think that would have been probably a lot better. Like him and his team going in and like trying to stop these people instead of him going into the jungle and saving a girl and killing a man.
yeah, but it's not as exciting. No, is it?
It could be exciting, honestly.
It could be, but I feel like on paper it isn't. Like he goes to the jungle, kills a man to save this one child.
He
That's how
essentially,
determined he is.
yeah, he chokes a guy out and kills him.
Like, I get what you're saying. I just think, this is like the limits of an adaptation, telling like a true story. Like true stories aren't that exciting most of the time.
Yeah, based off a true story.
Also,
Well,
too, like this movie was like shelved for like I think like 5 years.
yeah, Disney was not going to distribute it, right? Like they just didn't they didn't want to release the
Yeah, they
movie for
bought
some
the
reason.
rights to it and then shelved it for years.
Yeah, the film was completed in 2018, and a distribution deal was made with the Latin America subsidiary of 20th Century. And then when that was purchased by Disney, they shelved it, and the filmmakers bought the distribution rights back from Disney. And then they shopped it around Apple Studios. Yeah, so yeah, it was a 5 year process of. Actually, I did not know about that until I just read that.
Yeah. Well, that was part of the controversy of like this movie, like what they had to go through to get to get this movie out, and then it was only being shown in limited screenings. Like I think it was if I looked at it was almost it was almost shown in 2,000 less theaters than like Indiana Jones, and it outperformed it.
Yeah. Yeah, released in only 2,800 films, which was less, or theaters rather, which is less than Insidious 3, 3,000, and Indiana Jones, 4,600. It broke the $100 million mark at the box office on its 16th day. I think it also grossed more domestically than Mission Impossible. Let me look this up.
Well, if
Yeah, it
Disney's
did.
shelving
It
it,
did, yeah. That's crazy.
Craig,
Yeah,
what did Disney
12
mean by
million
that?
more.
Shelving it.
Well, again, like all this controversy, all the controversy, like they wouldn't release the movie for really no reason. Like if they just did like a limited release, like I bet you this movie would have gone under the radar. No one would have seen it. There would have been no controversy.
I mean,
Well,
people have released far worse, like
well,
at least topics and themes in movies than this.
Well, again, which is why I find it so weird. Like that's what got me to watch it. It was the quote unquote controversy of a really not offensive movie at all to anybody,
yeah.
unless you're one of those people that do this. I mean, people are getting offended. It's like, well, do you do this? I mean,
And I will say though too, like this was the first movie in a while that I can remember that the theater was completely packed when I saw it.
oh yeah, same.
I did not see this in theaters. I saw this 2 days or yesterday actually on the computer.
Don't worry, we paid forward your ticket.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, they have the guy who plays Tim is the man who played Jesus in The Passion of the
Yeah,
Christ.
Caviezel.
Yeah. It's actually kind of shocking. Not maybe not shocking, but it's crazy how this actually made money for itself, for its studio, like Indiana Jones.
No comment. It made money with Hollywood accounting. That movie made money.
No, by all accounts, this did not make any money. Craig has actually lost $100 million for Disney or
No,
Indiana Jones
no,
5
there's
did.
Hollywood accounting, Colin. It made money.
No, no, shut up.
You know what Hollywood accounting is, right?
Isn't it like where they not? It's something like I have seen the term before, but it's like they put funds over here or there, and they kind of hide the fact that it lost money, and then they
Oh
like
yeah,
just say it's like a tax write-off or something.
usually they do it to like make movies like at a loss. They don't have to like pay out people. Or like if someone has like a percentage of the profits, they'll say like, "Oh, this movie made no money, so you get none of the profits," to screw people over.
Yeah, it's dirty things.
Yeah. Or in this case, they probably do it to make it look like the movie made money. So like tell their investors that they're lying to. Oh, movie made money. Don't worry about it. I think it's the safe face because everyone told them like this was going to be horrible. Can't let the haters win.
So, uh, Craig, you've been awfully quiet a little bit on this movie, on your opinion of it. What else do you think? Tell me something else you liked about it or didn't like.
Well, I remember when I was looking at like people's reviews of it, and I think people were like confused at certain scenes, like like oh, I don't get the big deal. It's like the children had like their clothes on. It's like okay, well they can't show it. Like, come on,
Yeah,
use
yeah.
your imagination.
They're not going to show naked children, you creeps. That's illegal. And the fact
Well,
that it's in a movie too, they're distributing it too. It's another crime.
well, I think people. I don't know. I'm hoping that they were just like stupid and confused. Like I don't get what the big deal is. They have clothes on. It's like, come on, buddy. Context clues.
Yeah, I think Dana was talking earlier about the show don't tell. It's a lot scarier when you don't show things. And
Also,
it's
they
more,
can't. But
well, yes, obviously they can't, Craig. They're not going to show a child
well,
but you have to,
well,
like
the
it's,
most instances of show don't tell you can show, right?
say
This
again?
is the case where you literally
Oh, this is
can't
100,
show.
yeah, you literally can't. Yeah, I guess that's true, but it's just like, it's obviously scarier not seeing it and then just like, I guess you could say, see the aftermath where all these children they look terrible and they have the tattoos on them. It's just rough. Yeah,
Or
they're
again, like
obviously,
seeing like the people how they like what they have to go through just to do their job of saving people. Not a fun job.
yeah, I would never do that. What else, Craig?
Like, people think working at the DMV is bad.
This movie also received mixed reviews from critics, but very positive reviews from the audience. On
I saw it held at one point 100% audience score.
that was on Rotten Tomatoes. It holds a 99% on Rotten Tomatoes, a 58% from the critics, and on IMDb, which is all user based, 7.8 out of 10. What is the Metacritic? Oh, the Metacritic is a 36. Okay. Off of 11 reviews. But the audience score is 7.8. So obviously there's some kind of disconnect between the critics and the users.
Well, like I said, the critics were getting upset before the movie even came out. Like they were just like, "Oh, this movie's a conspiracy theory." I was like, what's the conspiracy theory?
Trying to see what I'm trying to read some of these reviews.
Because again, it wasn't for people like, getting up in arms about it. I probably wouldn't have heard about it or seen it.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah, some of these critics are just hating this. It's like, oh my God.
Which kind of questions like if this is a movie that like you're hating on so much, like, are you getting personally offended by it?
No, some of these reviews are just pointing out to like other things that aren't in the story. Like they're talking. One said, "quote unquote" conservative vibe in it. They're pointing to the guy who plays Jesus or whatever Ballard in this movie. They don't seem to like that guy.
Apparently, your political views can be asserted or guessed if you are against child trafficking.
But
But
again,
that's what I mean. It's like regardless of what side of political spectrum you're on, like this is a movie just about exposing child trafficking. How does it's not like it's not like Jim Caviezel stopped the movie. It was like, or even at the end of the movie was like, when he was given the personal message, like it's not like he was saying, we have to be like Trump and put up a wall around these people. Like God, like come on.
I think what people have to do is, and it's a shame that people have to say this. It's just you have to separate the actors from the movies, and a lot of people in Hollywood don't seem to have a problem with this. With a lot of their stuff, so it's odd that they're coming after this guy.
yeah, like how many directors do we know of with certain allegations that no one seems to care about?
I don't see
Yeah,
people going for the chopping block on that '70s show.
yeah.
I
What
mean,
about DC defending Ezra Miller? But we're getting a little off topic here.
people still defend Roman Polanski.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
Even, what's Hollywood trying to say when they're upset about this movie?
Do you guys have anything else to say?
Um, no, like I said, I think it's a very well made movie. I I enjoyed it. It's a tough movie to watch, and the subject matter, yes, it is. It's not something like when you say like, "Oh, this was a great movie." You're not saying it because of the subject matter by any means, but the message behind it, and also and also too like with say what you want about Jim Caviezel and the actual guy Tim Ballard, but if you watch like interviews with them and stuff, like the heart and passion behind this project, it's really cool. It's awesome that like they were so invested in getting this out for the message, despite the extremist views it portrays for people like Craig.
Craig,
Yeah.
final thought?
Like I said, I liked it. I obviously recommend it, but I can't say it's going to be on my highly rewatchable movie list.
Yes, it's certainly not a rewatchable movie. It's not going to be like, oh, a once a month kind of thing. Hey, let's sit down and watch this. Like I said, I thought it was okay. It fell into some of the traps of that plagues Hollywood generic movies, but it's better than like Taken, which I guess you could say isn't saying much.
Or than Indiana Jones 5.
Oh yeah, I mean, at least I could try to
Flash.
rewatch Indiana Jones 5. I can't rewatch The Flash because Ezra Miller, but I think it is worth a watch at least. It's impressive, as I said earlier, that how much money the movie did and how much it made. It's very impressive for that. Good for them. I would probably give it a 6 or 7 out of 10 if I were to give a rating.
With five being average.
Yeah, 5 is like right down the middle, just pure mediocrity average.
Well, because people do these scores, like a seven is usually okay, a five is
No,
like
no,
bad for
no.
some reason.
5 is average. Yeah, I don't know what else to say. Anyone else? I guess check out the movie, if anything.
Yeah.
I think it's still out in theaters, or you can still watch it.
I think it's gonna get streamed like next month. It's gonna be available.
I think it was on Tubi, it said.
It's Tubi.
Oh no, Voodoo, my
Hubie
bad.
Hubie Halloween?
No, no, Hubie Halloween. Well, that we have been the unbiased opinion where everyone's opinion is biased except ours. I am Colin.
Craig.
Uh huh.
Daniel.
Yeah, that's our episode.